welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2020 video. Today we are going to be looking at some kaiju with Gamera vs. Barugon. Yes, another classic Gamera film. This one is from 1966. In terms of people involved, of course, it's directed by Shigeo Tanaka, who directed all the other Gamera films, and written by Nissan Takahashi, who wrote the other Gamera films. And both of them have done a whole bunch of other stuff. I believe Shigeo has directed over 100 movies, and Nissan has written over 50. So we got that. In terms of actors, you're probably going to not know any of them, and I'm probably going to butcher their names, but let's go through them to give them the credit, that they're due. Playing Keisuke Hirata, we got Kojiro Hongo. Playing Karen, we got Kyoko Inami. Playing Kawajiri, we have Yuzo Hayakawa. Whew. Playing Dr. Sato is Takuya Fujioka. Playing Onodera is Kuji Fujiyama. Playing Ichiro Hirata is Akira. You'd think I'd know that one. Akira Natsuki. Playing Professor Amano is Yoshiro Kitahara. And finally playing Dr. Matsushita is Ichiro Sugai. This particular Gamera film essentially has a group of mainlander Japanese explorers on the search for a gem that they've been told exists in a cave on a remote island. And they go to the remote island, and of course there's natives there. And the natives, essentially they're told, don't go into the cave, bad stuff will happen. Well, of course they go into the cave, find the gem, and take it. Well, that gem happens to be, what you would call the egg of Barugon. Yes, so Barugon hatches, of course, and starts going rampaging around. His weapons of choice are a freeze, I guess you call it like a freeze breath that shoots out of his tongue. It's not out of his mouth, it's out of specifically out of his tongue. And a rainbow laser that shoots out of his back. I know, it sounds a little weird, but essentially, the citizens, the Japanese Self-Defense Force, tried to defeat him, and at first they're frozen. And so they decide, you know what, we'll attack him from afar, and that's when they find out he's got rainbow lasers shooting out of his back. Sounds crazy, right? Well, of course, the rainbow lasers emit a lot of energy, so Gamera, being drawn to energy, is drawn to this, and for some reason decides to fly into the rainbow lasers over and over and over again until he's like, you know what, this is peeing me off, and then they fight. And you get a bunch of kaiju action, and then of course the story goes on from there, and how the people of Japan managed to defeat Barugon and essentially Gamera in a way. But so what's there to say about this film? If you like Gamera films, if you like kaiju films, you're gonna like this one. It's actually, I kind of dug it. It's not as weird as some of the other Gamera films, and even some of the Godzilla films and such. I will say that, Gamera is kind of like a lower budget Godzilla type thing. I don't find the creature designs quite as good as a Godzilla movie, and such is the case with Barugon. He looks very plastic. His eyes are always like stationary. They don't move, or things like that. And it's very fake looking, but at the same time, I just love it. I just love kaiju. I love how they have the miniatures and miniature vehicles, miniature cities, and they get destroyed, and they fire guns and lasers and missiles and all that kind of stuff, right? I absolutely love them. So yeah, this is one of those films where I'm like, you know what? Like it's cheesy, right? Like kaiju films are. They're family. They're considered family action fantasy films, really. But they're giant monsters destroying things, so I consider them horror. Most people in the horror community should consider kaiju films horror in a way. I mean, you look at the early Fango magazine stuff, Godzilla's right there, man. So, it's I was actually surprised at how much monster action was happening in this film. A lot of the times when you look at them, there's just so much, even especially with the Godzilla films, right? Like, you could have an entire film where there's just people talking and talking and talking. You see a little bit of here, a little bit of there, the monster doing something here and there. A few little shots of, the remote control tanks and such doing their thing. And then you really only see monster battles or monster things near the end of the film. This one was like, I don't know, it was like, yes, you had that whole finding the egg and all that kind of stuff, which is all of the beginning of it, but I don't know, it seemed like there was a lot of monster action really early. Then again, these things aren't very long. So I guess there is that as well. So yeah, I wonder, I'm gonna find how long this movie actually is. If my phone will cooperate with me. Yeah, it's only 106 minutes, so it's not very, very, very long at all. Yeah. But that being said, if you're into kaiju films, you got to be into Gamera, not just Godzilla. You got to be in. I mean, they are the two big guys. It's Godzilla and Gamera. There are other kaiju films out there, so really they are. Very, very much in the same boat. I mean, there are some really bad kaiju films, but at least the ones that are in, this level are fun. They're all in the same boat. So if you're into one, you should be into the rest. Again, they're going to fluctuate in terms of quality, in terms of story, and all that kind of stuff. In terms of the creature that, whoever the main kaiju is fighting, that changes, right? Some of them are better than others. Some of them have better abilities than others. I do find with the Gamera films, there's a lot more really cool special attacks. Like I said, he's got freezing tongue breath and rainbow laser. Like, that sounds like something you would find in a Mechagodzilla, not like one of the creatures or something, right? Like, but yeah, I mean, Gamera has crazy enemies. I'll just say that. And this guy's kind of like a lizard. You can see him here, right? It's kind of a wonky lizard, but he's still cool. If I've to give it a rating, I'd say 3 out of 5 at least. It's good fun. The battles are good, and yeah, there's lots of good miniature work and things going on. So yeah, I give it a recommend to kaiju fans. If you're not into kaiju films, this is definitely not your thing. If you only like Godzilla and you don't like Gamera, I don't know, man. Maybe something wrong with you, but I mean, maybe Godzilla is as low in production value as you're willing to go, even though the production value in these things, like, think about it, man. It takes a lot of work to make those miniatures. They're not just easy. Like, that's a lot of work to make those things, man. So, yeah, I mean, story-wise, they are what they are. Some of them, each movie is different. Some are better than others. This one wasn't bad. This one actually was a decent story in terms of kaiju-related things. I mean, it may seem a little cliche at this point in time, but I mean, back then, it was definitely kind of new. Not super new, but kind of new. So yeah, I definitely give it a recommend to kaiju fans. 3 out of 5 is my rating. If you love kaiju like I do, and you haven't seen this movie, what are you waiting for? Get on it. Anyways, more 31 Days of Horror to come. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Stay spooky. Where'd these pumpkins come from?